Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be turning ourselves into one of the Ghostbusters. Now, I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando for the past few nights, and Ghostbusters is by far my favorite house so far. I love it. Everything about the house is incredible, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a look based off of the Ghostbusters, and here we are. In particularly, I wanted to do a look based off Ray Stantz, aka Dan Aykroyd's character, because I wanted to make the goggles. That's right. I made them off of like safety chemical goggles and then just built off of them. So I used like PVC pipe to create these parts and like some plumbing fittings to like give it a little bit more detail. And just made like little paper parts to glue on and nuts that I just also glued on, but it looks really cool on, so I really wanted to stick with Ray's character, so I create the goggles. So yes, here we have them. I like them a lot. I think they turned out pretty cool. But yeah, so now that we've talked about that stuff, I want to get into the body paint, so I'm going to be painting on the suit that Ray wears. I might customize the name tag to say my last name, and just like stick with some beauty makeup and we'll go from there. But yeah, so let's get to it. To begin this look, I'm going in with a white water activated body paint, and I'm going to be outlining everything that I want to be seen on the jumpsuit. I'm outlining the collar, the undershirt, the Ghostbusters emblem on the side of his sleeve, and then the name tag patch. Now for the Ghostbusters emblem, I actually shifted it more towards the center of the body so you could see more of like the ghost instead of it being on the sleeve, and you weren't going to be able to see it from the pictures and the video. So I just moved him a little bit, and I'm just going in and filling in the little ghosty with some white water activated body paints. And because it is white water activated body paint, those paints tend to be a little bit streaky no matter what brand you use, so I suggest going over it maybe 2 times. You just have to be careful because if you add too many layers, the paint will start to crack and fall off, so there's a very fine line on how many layers you should add, but I usually go for 2 just to make sure that everything is nice and covered. And again, I'm looking at multiple reference photos throughout this look just to make sure I get all the details correct. Now I'm going in and filling in the base color of the jumpsuit with this light brown shade. I mixed together Mayron's dark brown and white to create this shade. So their jumpsuits are they're a light tan, but if I went with that color, it wasn't going to show up really on my skin, so I went with a darker tan color. And then I'm going to start highlighting the suit with a white body paint. As you can see, when you blend body paint on top of body paint, it blends fairly nicely. So you could either use body paint or you could use like a cream makeup, like a cream white paint. That would work amazingly as well. I just prefer to stick with body paints when I'm painting.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand.
For the Undershirt Rays, just wearing a solid black t-shirt, so I'm just going in with a pure pigmented black body paint, and I'm just going to be painting, filling it in, basically again like a coloring book. The more paint or the more water you add, the less opaque the paint is going to be. So by adding less water, the thicker and darker the paint will be. And then I'm just going to be highlighting it, making it pop a little bit more, making sure that that highlight is blended in. Now I did decide to go with writing my last name instead of Ray's, so here I'm just outlining my last name, in red body paint with a fine artist brush. And then I end up making the letters a little bit more thick towards the end of the look. And now we move on to the little ghost emblem, the Ghostbusters logo. So I'm starting off by outlining that red sign around the ghost and making sure that he looks like he's physically popping out of the logo. So this really has to do with foreground and background and middle ground and all that jazz. Now moving on, and I'm just going to be filling in that patch with my last name with some black body paint and another fine artist brush that's very pointed so that way I do not mess up, because I tend to do that when I'm painting. Moving back to the ghost. As you can see, I tend to jump around when I paint. So I'm just going to be filling in all that blank space with some black body paint, and then I begin outlining the ghost. So start with his hand that's kind of popping out of the sign. And my suggestion is just go really slow. Continue looking at a reference photo, going back and forth between the reference photo, your paint. Take a few breaks if you have to. This painting in this position is a little bit difficult just because you're trying to maneuver your body in some weird, funky ways, trying to see everything and all those lines. You need to get them straight and stuff. So just take your time, and you can always fix mistakes, like that little black line on the little ghost hand. I end up fixing that. But again, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. So I'm just going back in with a white body paint, and I'm going to be highlighting the letters because they needed to stand out a little bit more. And again, highlighting the black patch. And I'm just making sure that everything is blended as much as possible, because there's nothing more than I hate than an unblended body paint. Wow, I rhymed. Look at me. Besides that, I'm going in with a dark brown eyeshadow on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to be packing that where the shadows would be. So with the collar and all of the creases in the jumpsuit, I'm taking a gold water activated body paint by Mayron, and I'm going to be creating that zipper that leads all the way down the jumpsuit. And then taking some black eyeshadow, and I'm going to be deepening that shading underneath the collar, and again with all the other creases throughout the look. Now, I didn't film these on camera because they were out of focus and whatnot, but I'm just going to be outlining those gold strands that I painted on, and then basically making little tiny zippers. So outlining them, adding some little crisscross stitching to them. It's probably just easier to watch than for me to explain. And finally, I'm going to be highlighting. So for this look, I was going for a very cartoony look, so I stuck with some stark white highlights. And then I decided to add some freckles because I wish I had freckles, so might as well paint them on. So I'm taking some brown eyeshadow and then making sure to pat them out. And then voila, it is complete, it is finished, the look is done. I really hope you guys enjoyed this body paint. I had a lot of fun making it. And yeah, I hope you have a great day.